Hello, and welcome to our introduction to ISXBJ. Today, we'll be looking at the Harvestables tab of the inventory script. The Harvestables tab is home to two permanent buttons, which are the Amenities button and the Depots button. Let's start by taking a look at the Amenities button. Once we have selected it, a lot of options appear on the screen. First, we have a row of buttons that allow us, the user, to select what options they want the amenity script to use. From left to right, we have Guild Hireling, which is the guild hall amenity that allows you to send out NPC workers to harvest for you. When we click on that button, it allows us to set what tier we want to harvest. For the purposes of this demonstration, I have selected tier 9. The next one is the Pack Pony, which is obtained by completing a long harvesting quest line in the Isle of Mara. When you click on the button, it allows you to select what tier you want to harvest. And the last button is the Gathering Goblin, which when you click on it, does the same thing as the previous two. You get to select what tier you want, and it's obtained by the Trade Scale Prestige AA. Over here we have the Save and Load List option, which allows you to save the assigned characters lists and then load them up quickly for future use. Now, I'll get back to this section in a little bit. So further down the screen you see we have the assigned characters list, and that contains all the available characters. Oh sorry, that's up here. And these characters that have been entered by the user on the General Setup tab, and they are ready to be auto-logged in. So to start getting your list ready, we must first select a character to use. I'm going to use AA character, so I click on that. And then next I'm going to select the amenity type. Now currently there's 4 different types of amenities to choose from. There's Guild Hireling, Pack Pony, Gathering Goblin, and Deposit All. So let's start by selecting the Guild Hireling option and see what happens. So now I'm being asked to supply a guild hall name. So I'm going to enter BJ Scripts as my guild hall. And the next option for me to choose is the Call to Guild Hall option. So I'm going to click on that, and this part here comes in really handy if you regularly play the characters that you're going to include in your assigned characters list. It will check 2 conditions. 1, if your character is in the right guild hall, and 2, if your character is within 5 meters of the guild hall doors. If either of those conditions are false, then it will cast the call to guild hall and wait for it to finish before moving on to the rest of the script. The last option for me to choose is the deposit option. This will open up the appropriate guild depot and deposit all of the harvestables into it. When all the options are selected, the last thing I need to do is select the Press Add button, and it will clear the options list and move that character down into the assigned characters. So you can see down here we have our character with our name, the amenity that we chose, whether we want it to cast Call Guild Hall, whether we want it to deposit, and then the guild hall name. Now the guild hall name is important for the Guild Hireling and for the Deposit All amenity types, because it will check to see which guild hall it is currently in, and if it is not, it will actually log out of the guild hall and try to zone into the appropriate one. At any point in time, if throughout any of the part of the script, if it encounters an error, it will just move on to the next person in the assigned characters list. So the last thing that I would need to do then to start the script is I would just hit Start Harvesting, and it would immediately try to log in character AA character, and it will run through in the script. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to load up a previously defined list, and I'm going to let it show you what it does. So here's my list. First one, it's going to be using the Guild Hireling. It's set to call to Guild Hall if it's not in there already, and it will not deposit in the first guild hall because I'm going to have it log out to a second guild hall, and it will also use that hireling, collect anything from it, and then it's going to deposit into that second guild's depots. The third character is going to be using the Pack Pony. It's not set to call to Guild Hall, and it's going to deposit all of its stuff into the depot. The fourth one is going to be using the Gathering Goblin, and I've moved it so that it's inside a guild hall, but it is too far away from the doors and the depots to use it. So it's going to check to see if it can call the guild hall first. It will run through its stuff, and then it will log out. And then the next one after that is Gathering Goblin. Same thing, but at this time I've moved this person to a different zone, and it will check to see if it needs to call the guild hall, which it does. It should do that, and then it will go through and deposit everything after. And then the last one is the deposit all amenity type, and it's just going to log the character in and deposit anything that is in its inventory into the appropriate depot. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm going to click the Start Harvesting button. So right now you can see it's entering the game as the first character name, and I will be editing these loading times out to make the video shorter. Okay, so it's successfully loaded the character in, and now it's going to go check and see if there's anything that needs to be picked up first from the guild hireling. So it's doing that now. It's accepting all of the harvestables. And then the next one, it goes back and it sends them out for whatever tier I had set, which I had set for tier 9. And it's displaying that information over here. Okay, so it's moved on. It's realized it's on the same character, so it's going to stay in game. And it's going to log out to the Frostfang Sea, because the guild hall was located in Hallis, and is going to check and see if the next guild hall is available to be zoned in. So that's finished loading. It is entering the name of the second guild hall, and it's checking to see if it is a visitor or trustee access. In this case it was trustee, so now it's zoning back into the next guild hall, and it's going to try and use the people, but this time they're already out, so they're not available, so it's going to just log out, and it will try again in the next time it cycles through. So because it's finished now, it's going to try to log out to the login screen so that the next person can be logged in. Okay, this person has successfully made it in, and this now it's summoning the pack pony, and now it's going to be talking to the pack pony. Right now it's just accepted all the stuff, and it's going to be sending the pony back out for tier 9, which is what I had selected, and that's it. So now it's done. It's going to camp out. It's going to go to the next person on the list. Okay, it has successfully logged in this character. It checked to see if it was close enough to the door, and because it's not, it's calling to guild hall. And once it finishes, it will be back by the door, right next to the depots, and then it will carry on with the rest of the script. So this one's for the Gathering Goblin, and it's summoning it now, and then it will go through, accept anything if it needs to, and then after that it will send it back out for tier 9, which was what the options we had selected. And now it's camping back out, and it's going to go to the next. If you look at the right side near the top, you will see the time remaining. This timer is set after the first person completes their assigned amenity type and counts down from 2 hours. When the script completes the last person on the assigned characters list, it will camp out to the login screen and wait for the timer to reach 0 before it loops and starts the process all over again. At this point, I'm going to end the demonstration because it is getting quite long. I hope that you found this useful, and if you have any questions or suggestions, please feel free to log into the forums or email me, and I'll do my best to help out.